Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Wa ba'd. 15th question in Sarf. So we talked about Meezan Sarfi and the changes in it. We are still continuing. This is the last question of that. But we'll talk about Qalb also later on. Qalb is change, right? Change. So how do you account for the changes in the words? So that's what he talks about in the 15th question. كيف نزين كلمة حدث فيها قلب إعلالي. قلب إعلالي. How do you weigh a word which has changes due to weakness? إعلال is weakness, right? So there's changes. So he answers إذا أردنا أن نزن كلمة حدث فيها قلب إعلالي. If we want to weigh, right, put a scale to the word where there's قلب إعلالي, قلب إعلالي, change due to weakness, فإنه لا يحصل, it does not occur or is not attained, مثله في الميزان الصرفي. So it does not happen in the ميزان صرفي بل يبقى الميزان على حاله بعد القلب. Even after the قلب, it'll remain the same. فتوزن الكلمة بحسب أصلها. We'll look at the original, right? To look at the original words. وليس على صورتها الحالها, but not at its current state, right? So some letter has been changed to something else. For example, قال. So if anyone says, what's the scale of it? So you might say, oh, it's fala. Fala. No, it's not fala. Because this alif is not actually alif. It's a wow. Qala was literally qabala with a wow. So qala, its scale is what? Fa'ala. Will not change because of the i'lal. The scale also. No. Look at the original. Walaysa fa'ala. It's fa'ala. لأن أصل الكلمة قبل. Because it's قبل. وحدث فيها قلب إعلالي. A change due to weakness has occurred. فبقيت في الميزان على أصلها قبل القلب. So in the scale, you will show it the original one. نحو السماء. Sama is what? Sama yasmu, is to go ascend. Huh? It's also on the pattern of fa'ala. Wa asluha samawa. Faqulibat al-wawu alifan. And that waw has been changed to an alif. So sama will say in the pattern of fa'ala. Okay. So this is called qalb i'lali. Inshallah, he'll speak about them, all of those things. Inshallah, maybe he has qalb makani, where the letters are changing. And has few questions in that, and huruf al-asliya wa zaida. We'll go through that inshallah whenever we will be able to do. So ultimately we learned one thing. This is thing, and that if there's a change due to weakness, you leave it like that. Same thing if there's an omission. In last question we saw, if there's an omission, we'll omit it in the mizan sarfi also. And if there's change in the letters, we'll obviously change it. So in change in letters or omission, change in the scale. But if there's change in the letters, I mean, wow becomes an alif or whatever, don't do that. Don't do that. Same thing for ibdal. If there's change like ta becoming a ta, right? We talked about in lesson question 13, we don't change it there. Okay. We don't change in mizan sarfi. Correct. So all these things we've seen in mizan sarfi, inshallah. So from 8 changes we won't change. Like ifta'ala, if it becomes ifta'ala, we won't put it ifta'ala. But any omission, we'll put the omission. Any letters change, like ain kalima becoming at the fa kalima in the previous question we saw, will change. Correct. As well as now we saw that this thing, qalb i'lali also we won't change. We won't change. Like qala, you might think it's fala. No, the pattern is fa'ala itself. Wow becoming an alif doesn't matter. We'll look at the original scale, original letters. Okay, inshallah. Then we'll talk about qalb makani in our next class, inshallah. Ta'ala. Jazakallahu Khair. Assalamu alaikum.